Do you know that the digital world around us is controlled by objects that are tinier than a grain of salt and thinner than a strand of human hair? Yes, I'm talking about semiconductors. They're made out of sand, hence why Silicon Valley is famous for turning sand into gold. But recently, we've been touching the limit of the maximum number of transistors that can be placed on a silicon wafer. Now, this has become a major bottleneck for not only general-purpose computing, but also AI. As I was sifting through the latest research in semiconductor nanotech, I found that China has once again made a breakthrough that can potentially redefine the technological landscape. It's called extreme ultraviolet lithography, and here's how it works. Now, before we dive into EUV or ultraviolet lithography, I really want to tell you guys about lithography and its transcend from an ancient art to shaping cutting-edge technological equipment. So, ladies and gentlemen, lithography was invented by a man named Alois Senefelder in Germany in 1796 and began as a straightforward method for printing. Senefelder's process involved drawing on a flat stone with oil-based mediums. The stones were then treated with acid and gum arabic to etch away the parts not protected by the drawing, allowing the image areas to attract ink while the rest repelled it. This simple but ingenious technique enabled mass production of maps, books, and artwork, revolutionizing how information and art were disseminated. As the 19th and early 20th centuries progressed, lithography saw significant improvements. More durable plates and faster presses came into play, and the introduction of color lithography or chromolithography allowed for vibrant multicolor prints. This period saw lithography becoming a staple in both the art world and commercial printing, making high-quality, colorful prints accessible to a broader audience. The real game changer came in the mid-20th century with the advent of photolithography. This technique transformed lithography from a printing method into a critical process for electronics and microfabrication. Photolithography uses light to transfer patterns from a photomask to a light-sensitive chemical on a substrate. This method, involving UV light and photoresist-coated silicon, allowed for the creation of intricate microstructures or transistors necessary for integrated circuits in semiconductor devices. This resulted in an era of miniaturization of electronic components, which serves as the cornerstone of modern technology. In recent years, lithography has advanced even further. Deep ultraviolet lithography, using shorter wavelengths like 193 nm excimer lasers, has become essential for producing today's microprocessors and memory chips. Pushing boundaries even further, now we're living in an era of extreme ultraviolet or EUV lithography, with wavelengths around 13.5 nm, allowing for the creation of incredibly small features of sizes below 3 nm, keeping pace with the demands of Moore's law. Non-optical techniques like nano-imprint lithography have also emerged, offering a cost-effective way to imprint nanoscale patterns directly onto substrates with high precision. But let's roll back to the extreme ultraviolet lithography. With modern equipment and research, we're now eyeing wavelengths narrower than 5 nm. Chinese companies are spearheading the deployment of this technology, and here's why. The US and China are in a constant state of war. This war is not happening on battlefields, but inside technological centers and research laboratories. The centerstone of this war is becoming a chip giant that controls the entire Earth's digital machines. In an attempt to apprehend the United States, China is pushing to develop its own extreme ultraviolet lithography machines to cut its $400 billion annual reliance on imported semiconductors and foreign tech, like ASML's EUV machines. News of China potentially bypassing US sanctions with an innovative approach called SSMB EUV or steady-state microbunching EUV lithography that aims to develop a high-power EUV light source for extreme ultraviolet lithography. This has caused a significant stir in China, as it could enable the country to build an EUV factory to replace ASML's EUV lithography machines. But it's not that easy. From concept to inception, it took more than 20 years for EUV lithography to become commercially viable. ASML spent 13 years developing the first EUV prototype and another decade to achieve high-volume manufacturing. Despite ASML's branding, EUV lithography machines are just 15% in-house, with 85% of the parts sourced from abroad. This technology is a collaborative effort spanning 7 to 8 countries. EUV systems also face major technical challenges, like generating enough power for the light source, maintaining high vacuum conditions for the optics, and producing flawless masks and photoresists. EUV is reaching fundamental limits, with source power stuck at around 500 watts, making patterning for the 3nm node difficult and costly. To To overcome the shortage of EUV machines and dodge the US embargo, top Chinese scientists have been working tirelessly on an alternative solution. Instead of following ASML's traditional path, they've come up with a completely different approach. The EUV machine is about the size of a bus, and it's already as small as engineers can manage. They've done everything possible to miniaturize this behemoth for easier shipment and transportation. Just like with other electronic devices, making a gadget smaller is always harder than making it bigger, especially for the complex EUV light source. So, why not build a giant EUV light source if it's never meant to be exported or shipped? You got it right. This is the approach the Chinese are trying to adopt. In a groundbreaking paper titled Steady-State Microbunching Accelerator Light Source, published in the Chinese journal Active Physica Sinica, scientists from Beijing Tsinghua University proposed building an accelerator the size of a football field to use as a light source for multiple EUV machines simultaneously. This accelerator is a circular ring-shaped device where charged particles, like electrons or protons, are accelerated to high speeds and kept in a stable orbit using magnetic fields. The particles circulate within the ring, undergoing multiple interactions and experiments. In such particle accelerators, electrons are arranged in closed controlled bunches to optimize their behavior and interactions, a process called electron bunching. In the context of steady-state microbunching EUV lithography, the research paper describes achieving electron bunching through laser manipulation. Laser beams interact with electrons, causing them to oscillate and form tightly packed microbunches. This laser-induced bunching process is extremely precise, creating electron bunches 6 orders of magnitude smaller than what conventional particle accelerators can achieve. By leveraging the powerful coherence of radiation generated through microbunching and combining it with the high repetition rate of an accelerator, an SSMB ring can produce high average power and narrow-band coherent radiation across wavelengths from terahertz to soft X-ray. This innovative light source has immense potential for accelerator photon science in various application industries like EUV lithography, which relies on high-resolution imaging and manufacturing processes. SSMB EUV could revolutionize EUV lithography for high-resolution imaging and chip manufacturing. The public is particularly interested in this technology as a way to bypass US restrictions, commercialize Tsinghua's research, and advance domestic chip fabrication, especially following Huawei's recent success in achieving 5G chip self-sufficiency. This project is being considered as the heart of China's technological future because it's crucial for producing advanced chips at the 5nm node and below, essential for smartphones, AI, and advanced weapons. Competing with Taiwan, South Korea, and the US in high-end chip manufacturing is also a key goal. Additionally, for national security, having control over advanced chip production is strategically vital, especially since the US has restricted EUV machine exports to China. Now comes the most important question. How does it all quantify? Well, China's semiconductor manufacturing market was valued at $179.48 billion in 2023 and is on a rapid growth trajectory. It's set to expand at a CAGR of 7.36%, hitting nearly $295 billion by 2030. China's relentless pursuit of semiconductor independence means it's poised to dominate the global industry by 2030, driven by its massive domestic demand. By then, China's projected to account for 60% of the industry's growth. China's strategy to seize control of the semiconductor market includes a focus on mature processes, the development of wide bandgap semiconductors, and a boost in domestic production capacity. Government policies are firmly backing local equipment manufacturers and IC design firms, with expectations that China will command nearly 40% of the mature process market by 2030, up 30% from last year. This aggressive expansion will have far-reaching impacts on the global market. China's increased production capacity will enhance its influence, pressuring international device manufacturers and foundries concentrating on mature nodes. As the global semiconductor industry is expected to more than double to over $1 trillion by 2030, China's role in this explosive growth will be pivotal. Do let me know in the comments section below what you think about China's newfound habit of making generational leaps in technology. Some of the best videos I've made recently are popping up on your screens. Click now and I'll catch you there in a second.